At the outset, can I second Amendment 12, which, as the proposer stated, expresses our abhorrence of the attack on the hospital. It's an absolute low. The motion begins in a very balanced fashion by unanimously or unambiguously rather condemning Hamas and the horrors of the attack on the consulate, etc. It's, if you like, an equivalent to our electric picnic or whatever, having a similar attack. And I suppose to lead on to some of the substantive points that I want to make, I could use a simple expression that we're all familiar with, and that is that two wrongs don't make a right. Disconnecting water, food, electricity was wrong. A collective punishment of the people of Gaza is wrong, and it's against humanitarian standards. So we do want the humanitarian corridor open, and we do want a ceasefire to achieve that, and the motion states that. A proposal to move the population south was unrealistic and wrong, and a breach of international humanitarian rules and laws, in that the density of population of the south is such, and the infrastructure, that it couldn't absorb it, even if it were right to do it. The defence, the motion doesn't question Israel's right to defend itself, but it does say that this must be within international rules. I think there is a case for a pause and de-escalation. And it's interesting, I would agree with the thesis. I didn't read your article yet, Senator McDowell, but I would agree with Senator McDowell's thesis that in some respects Israel are understandably angry, but making policies based on anger, and that's never a good idea, I think. And they could end up with a kind of an Iraq situation. It could be much more difficult, protracted, and become a regional war, and it could be greatly to the detriment of Palestinians. And, well, it would be greatly to the detriment of Palestinians and Israelis to continue. And I do think they are being lured into something of a trap there, and I must look forward to reading that article, but I do support the thesis therein. Spreading is a real issue, the spread. So I would say we need de-escalation. Politics will have to work yet. Politics had to work in Ireland, and it will have to work there. We will have to have a political solution. We cannot continue with the situation that pertained in the occupied territories, in that the illegal settlements, the arbitrary treatment of people, the lack of human supplies, the lack of employment, all that went with it was wrong and is wrong. And it's so you must remove all these root causes of violence of the issue. So, and we cannot have an Israeli population and Israeli people under siege either on a permanent basis. So basically, my contention would be that we need de-escalation, that we need politics to intervene, and that we need reason to prevail here. Ultimately, that will have to be the situation. If we allow this to spread into a regional conflict with mass murder, mass trauma, etc., just an annihilation of people, we will ultimately have to go back to politics and a solution. So why not try to bring that forward? And I do think that Hamas have very cleverly attempted to lure Israel into something quite dangerous. And I think a pause is necessary. The motion, and I'm going to finish on this, effectively said the motion is balanced in that we are unambiguous. There is no ambiguity around our condemnation of what Hamas did and what they stand for. And that's not ambiguous. There is also no ambiguity around our condemnation of actions by Israel that are outside of international law that are wrong, and historic actions that could have contributed to today. So in summary, my view is politics has to come in. We need a settlement, we need de-escalation, we need peace. Now, there might be an element of naivety, utopianism there, but it's our function as a neutral country, as part of the EU, to work towards that. It doesn't look on in the short term, but that's not a reason that it shouldn't be our collective aspiration and the collective message from the Irish government and from the Irish people collectively across all parts of the population, that's what we want. Thank you.